This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the with sharing and without sharing, and we'll see the concept of pagination, how to implement the pagination in Salesforce website. So first of all, we have to understand what exactly with sharing, what exactly without sharing, where it can be applicable, and what is the difference between with sharing and without sharing. We see practically. Okay, now. So this with sharing is also called as user mode. This is also called as user context. With sharing is also called as user mode, and this is also called as user context. And the without sharing is also called as system mode. It is also called as system context. System context. With sharing is also known as user mode or user context. Without sharing is also called as system mode or system context. Then what exactly these two keywords with sharing and without sharing, where we can apply, what is the functionality of with sharing and what is the functionality of without sharing. We'll see. So now these keywords can be applicable at the class level. Okay, these two keywords can be applicable at the class level. So we can able to apply these keywords at the class level. These keywords can be applicable at the class level. So upon defining the class, we can specify either with sharing or without sharing. Now, upon creating an Apex class, we can specify either with sharing or without sharing. Any one of these three. Then where we can apply what is the syntax over here? Syntax. So we are specifying the access specifier. Access specifier. And then here we can able to specify. Okay, here we can able to specify with the sharing or without sharing. Without sharing. And we can specify the keyword class and we can specify the class. You can write the business logic. Here we can write the business. As of now, we have defined some classes just by specifying public, class, class. But along with that, we can able to specify the keyword with the sharing or without sharing. If we did not provide anything, okay, as of now, simply we have created the class. Like for example, we have created the class here. Like for example, public class, like some accounts helper. This is a class which we have prepared. I have written some business logic. So now this class is nothing but without share. This is nothing but without share. If we did not specify anything, then the default one is a without share. If we did not specify any keyword, then by default it will be considering as a without share. Okay, that means the class will be running in system mode. Okay, the class will be running in system mode. Then what exactly this user mode? What exactly the system mode? If I'm defining the class with the sharing, what will happen? If I'm defining this class without sharing, what will happen? Okay, now let me explain this concept so that you can understand very easily. If you want to define the class with the sharing, we have to specify this. Okay, public with sharing class accounts paper. This will be running with sharing. If you did not specify any keyword, then by default it will be considering as without sharing. If you want, we can make it as with the sharing. So public with the sharing class. So the class will be running in user mode. So let me explain the concept. What is the background process of this with the sharing and without sharing? Now, for example, I have an account object. For example, I have an account object. For example, I have an account object. Now this account object is empty. Okay, this account object is empty. For this account object, I'm having the OWD option. Okay, I'm having the OWD option. So what is the OWD option for this one? OWD is private. OWD is private. You know the concept of OWD. Organization-wide defaults. For this account object, the OWD option is private. That means what? Whenever if any of the user has created the record inside this object, that record will be visible only to the user itself. Other people can't see. Only the owner of the record and his manager will be able to see the record. Remaining users will not be able to see. Okay, now. So now here in this case, I'm having an account object which is having the OWD option as now. In my organization, I have two users. In my organization, I have two users. In my organization, I have the two users. So this is the user one, and then I have another user. Another user, one more user here. We have two users are available. Is some user one, is some user two. User one and the user two. Now, this user one has created some records inside the subject. Okay, assume that these two people names as his name is some Ramesh, his name is some Pawan. Two people are available here. So now here in this case, now, so now Ramesh is also having the access on this account object. Pawan is also having the access on this account object. Okay. Now, so Ramesh has created some records inside this account object. How many records he has created? Ramesh has created some 20 records. Created 20 records. Ramesh has created some 20 records inside this object. Now, the Pawan also created some records inside this. Because Pawan is also having the access on this object, so he has created some 7 records. He has created 7 records. 7 records. So we have two users inside my organization. Both are having the access on this account object. So user one has created 20 records, user two has created 7 records. So totally 27 records are available inside my object. Records count is 27. So inside my account object, I'm having totally 27 records are available. From out of this 27, 20 records has been created by Ramesh and then 27 records created by Pawan. Now, in order to see these records, they have prepared a Visualforce page. In order to see these records, they have prepared a Visualforce page. So this is the result first page which they have prepared. They have prepared a result first page. This is the page which they have prepared, which will be representing the records in the form of tabular format. In order to see those records in the tabular format, they have prepared a visual first page, which will represent the records in the tabular format. This is my visual first page. Show accounts page, which will represent the records in the form of tabular format. Show accounts page. Now, in order to see this record, definitely they have to write some business logic. Yes. Because they have to get the data from the subject, and then they have to store the data inside a collection. That collection data we can represent inside the visual first page. So behind this visual first page, it will be having some apex class. Now, for example, here I'm having this apex class. I'm having an apex class like public class. I'm having that accounts helper. Here I have prepared a method public void get all accounts. Here I'm writing the business logic. Write the business logic. We are writing the business logic inside this. Okay. Now, so I have prepared a class. So this is the business logic class which I have prepared. Okay, this is the business logic class which I have prepared here. So now in this case, what happened? Whenever you are running this page, now first of all, it is going to be executing this business logic. So what it will do basically, now here in this case, it is going to be executing this. So now it is going to be collecting the records from this subject through this SQL query, which are written inside this method. It will store the data inside the collection. Now that collection data, it is going to be representing on your result first page in the tabular format. Okay. So now in order to represent these account records inside your result first page, we have written some business logic. Because result first page can't collect the data directly by its own. So that here we have prepared some business logic. That means I have prepared a class. In this class, I have prepared a method. This method is having an SQL query which is used to collect the records from the object. It will be representing on the result, so storing inside the collection. That collection data I'm representing inside my visual first page by using the page block table. So now on this page, that means to see these records, we have designed this page. Now, so now both the users are having the access on this page. Okay, both the users are having the access on this page. Now user 1 is also having the access on this page. User 2 is also having the access on this page. He is also, both the people are having the access on the page. Now he can able to view that page. He can also able to view that page. Now tell me, for this particular Ramesh, how many number of records will be getting visible? For this particular Pawan, how many number of records will be getting visible? How many records Ramesh can see inside this page? How many records Pawan can see in this page? How many records are visible?
Ramesh 20.
Pawan 7.
Okay.
As it is. Like they have created the same records they will be able to see.
Okay. Now,
I
in this
think both will
case,
see all 27.
now, in this case, when coming to the Ramesh, Ramesh can see all the 27 records, and then Pawan can see all the 27 records. Ramesh can see all the 27 records. Pawan also can see all the 27 records. irrespective of the user, everybody will be able to see all the records available inside the object. Why? Because is whatever the class which you are executing right now, this class is running in the system mode. The class is running in system mode. That means irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, everybody will be having the same view. Now, let me explain one small scenario so that you can understand. For example, we have an ICICI Bank branch. In that ICICI Bank branch, they're having some employees are also there and some customers are also there. I am the customer. So now along with me, okay, we are having that Pratik, he is also one of the customer. We are having Rahul, he is also one of the customers. We three are the customers and we have one bank employee. He is sitting inside the bank to perform the customer's transactions. Now tell me, we all three are having our own bank accounts. Rahul is having his own bank account. I'm having my own bank account, and then Pratik is having his own bank account. We all three has performed our own transaction. Rahul did some different transaction. Myself did some different transaction. Pratik did some different transactions. Now tell me, today I'm logging into my bank application with my credential. Then what transactions I can see? Only mine or all the people's? Only mine. If Rahul has logged into his account, he can see only his transactions, his account details, his transaction details, and his checkbooks information, and his request information, his loans information, and his credit cards information. Suppose Pratik has logged into his account, he can see only his transaction, not mine. That means what? Whenever the user has logged into the application, okay, then in this case, what happened? The user specific information will be getting visible. Whatever the records on which the user is having the access, only those records are visible, not all. Not all. So in this case, depends upon the logged in user, depends upon the current user. If you want to display the different functionality, then we can go with that user mode. Based on that user, please consider the user based on that username, based on his profile, whatever the permissions, whatever the records are able to access, only those records please visible to him. Don't display all the records. For that one, we are using that user mode. So in this case, what do you mean by user mode? That means user mode means what? With the sharing. So user mode means what? It will be running the class in the user mode. That means the currently logged in users profile level permissions will be getting considered. The currently logged in users profile level permissions will be getting considered. It will verify whether this user is having the access on this record or not. Based on that, it is going to be verifying that. Based on that, it is going to be collecting the respective records, and those records will be getting visible to the user. Other records are not visible. So for that reason, we are using the feature called as with sharing. Okay, we are using the feature called as with sharing. Now, suppose for example, when the bank employee has logged into the application, bank application, whose accounts will be visible? Only his accounts? No, all the customers' information, all the customers' accounts, all the customers' transactions, customers' the loan details, and his credit card details, everything he can able to see. That means what? As a customer, when I log into my account with my credentials, I can see only my details. But when the bank employee has logged into the application, he can see all the customer details also over there. So now in this case, what happened? Whenever the bank employee has logged into the application, it is running that application with system mode. That means irrespective of the profile, irrespective of the user, please display all the information. Please display all the information also. So that is called as system mode. Okay, that is called as system mode. Now, for example, let me explain some more. For example, we are having that workflow rule. Okay, we are having a workflow rule. I'm having a workflow rule on my account object, which will be sending an email notification upon creating a new record. Okay, upon creating a new record, whenever I'm inserting a new record, it has to send the email notification. For that one, I have created a workflow rule. So now tell me that workflow rule will run on user mode or system mode? User mode or system mode? Now it will be running on system mode. Why? Because is now whenever we are creating the record, what the workflow functionality, upon creating a new record, it has to send the email notification. That's it. Who is creating that record? No need to bother about that. Record may be created by a normal customer also, a partner also, end user also, administrator also, anybody. I'm not bothered about that. Boss, if you're creating the record, I will send the email notification. That's it. Who is creating that record? I'm not aware of. I don't know all this information. I don't need all this information. If the record is created, I will send the email notification. That's it. That record may be created by administrator also. I will send the email notification. If that record is creating by a normal customer also, I will send the notification. That means what? Whenever a new record is getting created, I would like to send the email notification. That's it. So whatever the automated processes, like as workflow rules, process builders, validations, formulas, sharing rules, assignment rules, triggers, these are all executing on system mode. Irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, these will be firing automatically. Irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, it will be firing automatically. Okay, all the validation tools, formulas, workflows, process builders, and then your sharing rules, assignment rules, triggers, these are all firing on system mode. That means irrespective of the user, that operation may be doing by any user also, I'm not bothered about that. If that operation has been done, I want to do this operation. That's it. So in this case, what happened? System mode in the sense what? Irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, everybody will be having the same functionality, common functionality. So here also, whatever the class which I have defined right now, simply I have defined the class as public class name. If I'm defining the class with the public class name, this is without sharing. Without sharing means what? This is system mode. That means irrespective of the user, everybody will be getting the same view. Everybody will be getting that same access over here. That's what here. Now, whenever I'm going to be executing this Apex class, okay, in order to get all the account records, it will collect all the account records available inside the object. It won't verify whether this record has been created by the Ramesh, whether the record has been created by the Pawan or not. It won't cross check all these things. Simply, it will be collecting all the records available inside the object. It will be representing to you over here. Now, suppose for example, I want to display only those records for this user. For example, if the Ramesh is accessing the Visual Force page, he should see only his 20 records. If the Pawan is accessing this page, I want to show only his 7 records. Then what we can do? In this case, we have to define this class. Okay. Upon defining this class, we have to use that keyword over here. Okay, we have to use that keyword. Okay, with the sharing. We have to define that keyword with a sharing. Upon defining that class, we have to specify that keyword with a sharing. Okay, we have to define that class with the keyword with a sharing. Here's the functionality. So now whenever I'm going to be defining the class by using the keyword with the sharing, then it will be considering the profile level permissions of that user. It will verify whether this user is having the access on the record or not. So it will verify what record this user is having the access. Only those records will be getting visible over here. Remaining records will not be visible. So if the class has been defined with the keyword with the sharing, then Ramesh can see only his 20 records inside this page, and the Pawan can see only his 7 records, not all. There is a difference between with the sharing and without sharing. Now, let me show you with a practical example over here. Okay. So now the simple difference is whenever I'm going to be preparing a class by using the keyword with the sharing, then upon fetching the data from the object, upon performing the operations on that object, will verify whether this particular user is having the permission on that particular feature or not. If he is having the permission, then only it will verify. It will be representing those records. Without sharing means what? Irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, every record it will collect automatically, that will be getting represented. Okay, now, so now here in this case, let me take a small example. Now, so now let's see in this case, for example. So let me take a Visual Force page which we have prepared in the past. So we have prepared one Visual Force page, show all account records, accounts page. So this is a Visual Force page which we have prepared in the past. Now, so now this is the Visual Force page here, which will be representing all the account records available inside my account object. Okay, all accounts. Totally, how many records are visible? 47 records are visible. Okay, it is collecting all the records. Let me show you the business logic class. So this is the class which we have prepared. Public class show all account records controller. Show all account records controller. This is the page which will be collecting all the account records available inside my account object. Okay, from account order by name. It is arranging the records based on that name column in ascending order. So I'm collecting all the account records available inside the object. Those records I'm representing on my Visual Force page in the tabular format, okay, by using this page block table. Now, so now here in this case, now if the same page is accessing by the multiple people, okay, then what will happen? Now let me show you. I would like to show you practically here. Now, so let me go to this is the user. Who is this user? Training batch user. When the training batch user is having the access on this page, he can able to see all the 47 records. Now I want to grant the access on this page to these other users also. So now how can we grant? Now let's see. If you want to grant the access on this page to the other people, then we have to go to the user's profile. In that profile level, we have to grant the permission. Let's go to the users. So now I want to grant the access on this page to this users here, development user. Right now, development user will not be able to access that page here. I want to grant access. So go to his user's profile. In this profile, you will be having a permission. You will be having an option. That already told you in our initial classes of security, profile is nothing but a component which contains all the permissions which can be assigned to one or more users. So when you come down to the profile, here we will be having an option called as what Visual Force pages you can able to access. Enabled Visual Force page access. That means what Visual Force pages this user can access. Right now, we haven't granted the access on this page to this user. I want to grant. Click on edit, select that page over here. Now, I would like to grant access on this page. Show all account records page. So this is the page which I'm granting the access to this development user. From now onwards, development user can able to access this. Along with that, inside this account Visual Force page, we have used this, okay, the customer object tab. So now we have to grant the permission on customer object also. Go to that object level permissions. On the customer object, we have to grant the permissions over here. Now, next one, let's go to that another profile. The remaining 3 users are in the another profile over here, platform profile. Go to the platform profile. Grant the access on the customer object also, because here we have used the customer object tab inside our Visual Force page. And along with that, we have to grant the permission on this Visual Force page. So go to that Visual Force pages option. Go to that enabled Visual Force pages access. Click on edit, select that page which you would like to grant the access. Even though I have created so many pages as of now, all the pages are not accessible by all the users. Show all account records page. Okay, show all account records page. Now for this one, what is the profile that have, what is the access that have granted? Show all account records page. Okay, so now for these users I have granted the access on this Visualforce page. So now these users can able to run my Visualforce page also. Okay, now let's log in into that development user. So the administrator user, nothing but training batch user is running that page. He can able to see 47 records. Suppose if the development user is going to be running this page, how many records he can see? Now let me show you. Now I have logged into the development user right now. Let's access that page over here. /apex show all account records page. Show all account records page. So now whenever he is accessing this page, how many records he can see? 47. That means what? Now tell me, will the development user has created all these 47 records? No. Some records have been created by development user. Some records have been created by the customer user, testing user, manager user, training batch user also. But it is showing all the 47 records. Now, for example, let me log in into that customer user. Log in into the customer user. Try to access that page right now. Show all account records page. When I press enter, now let's see. Customer user also able to see all the 47 records. Okay, customer user also able to see all the 47 records. That means what? Irrespective of the user, irrespective of the profile, everybody will be having the same access. Because whatever the Apex class that I have used inside my Visualforce page, whatever the Apex class that I have defined inside my Visualforce page, now that particular class has been defined with the system mode, nothing but it has been defined with empty. So this is nothing but without sharing. That means irrespective of the profile, irrespective of the user, everybody will be getting the same access. Now suppose here I'm defining this class with the keyword with the sharing. That means don't display all the records to the people, just to display only those records on which they're having the access. So I'm defining this class with the keyword with the sharing. Just with the sharing. That's it. It will take care of all things here. I'm defining the class with the sharing keyword. Now, training batch user will be having the access on 47 records because he is the administrator. So administrator will be having that all the records over there. He is having the access on all the records. Now, so now let's see here. Let's log in into the development user. Try to access that page. Now let's see. Development user is accessing this page. How many records he can see? Only 7. Because he is having the access on only 7 records over here. Remaining records are not visible. Now, for example, let me log in into the customer user. When you log in into the customer user, let's try to access this page. When you press enter, it is indicating 7 records are visible to him. Now, for example, when you log in into the manager user account, how many records he can able to see? So he can see only 2 records. He is having access on only these 2 records here, not all. That means what? Depends upon the user, it will verify whether this user is having the permission on this record or not, whether this user is having the access on this record or not. Now, in this case, we can raise a question. So how Salesforce will verify whether this user is having the access on this record or not? Now tell me, how do we know? Where this permissions information is available inside that? This record is what? Account record. On this account record, whether this user is having the access or not, how can we verify? We can verify inside that account share object. In this account share object, it is indicating on this record which users are having the access. That you know that sharing concept, you know. Okay, that you know the concept of sharing. So whenever you are sharing the record, that sharing details are storing inside the Apex sharing object, so that it will go to that account share object. In this account share object, it will verify the with the sharing keyword will be having the internal functionality by default. It will go to that account object. It will verify whether this user is having the access on this record or not. If the user is having the access on the record, that record will be getting visible inside your Visualforce page in the page block table. Remaining records are not visible over here. So generally, when you go to the other programming languages, we have to do all this necessary processing by default by writing our own code. But in Salesforce is doing all this functionality for you. That facility is available over here. So that whenever we are going to be accessing that, it will verify all this information. Yeah, tell me.
Hello. Sir,
Yes.
the users will not have access to the class code.
User?
Users will not have access to class code.
Now, if the user is not having the access on that class code, then he can't run that class. Okay? He can't run that class.
He can modify the code.
Yeah, you can modify the code. See, in this case, as a user, if you're having the permission, if you're the author of that class, you can do the modification also. If you're not having the permission, then you can't modify that class code. Okay? Inside the profile level, you should have that author apex permission. If you're having the author apex permission, then only we can able to create the classes, you can modify the classes, you can view the classes, everything. Or else you can't do that. Okay. Now, so this is the internal concept of your banking applications or wherever you go, any application, banking, financials, anything here, they are simply using that with a sharing, without sharing concept here. But basically, those people might have developed those applications by using Java, .NET. There, they need to verify the whole thing. Upon whenever I'm logging into my bank application, it is collecting my transaction details. All the customers' transactions information is there inside a single table, like as a transaction table. So at that time, in order to collect only my transactions information, they are going to be having some additional business logic. But in Salesforce, we no need to write all this business logic here. Simply we can able to use that keyword. Upon running that class, simply we can able to use that class, define the class with the keyword with the sharing. That's it. It will take care of everything over here. That much of facility is available as part of your Apex programming. So we don't need to do that business logic manually. That will be reducing simply by using the two keywords with the sharing. With the sharing keyword will do all the things for you. It will go to that respective record. It will verify whether this user is having access on the record or not. It will go to that account share object. In this account share object, will collect every account record. It will verify whether this user is having access on this record or not. If it is available, then it will collect the record placed inside the collection. It will do the necessary verification inside that. That's how here we are reducing the code inside your Apex programming over here by using some ready-made functionalities. This is the functionality of that one implementation with the sharing and without sharing. Whenever if you want to execute some business logic based on the user's permission, then you can go with sharing. If you want to execute some functionality common to all the users, then we can go with that without sharing here. Without sharing is nothing but system mode, or that is also called as system context. With the sharing is also called as user mode, that is also called as user context. Okay, this is the functionality of it.
Sir, if we want to change any security with respect to the class, is this possible?
Yes.
Other than with sharing keyword? Yeah.
Yes, we can able to do that. For that class, if you want to provide the security, we can able to specify which profile users can able to access this class. Inside the profile level, we can verify which classes this user can able to execute. That we can specify. Or else when you go to the classes also, you will be having that permission. When you go to your Apex classes also, we can able to indicate the security for each and every class. Let me open this. For example, I'm having a class called as account share handler. Here you will be having this option called a security button. Click on security, and here we can decide this particular class can be accessible by which profile users. Here you will be having so many profiles are available here. Which profile users can able to access this particular, invoke this class, we can able to decide about it. Right now, system administrator can able to access this particular class also. Remaining users are not able to access this class. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the concept of with the sharing and without sharing, that is also called as user mode and system mode. Okay. And then, so we are having that few more features. We'll see in next session. So today I'm winding up the session a bit early. Tomorrow we don't have the session. Next session will be on day after tomorrow.